What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating and drinking. Look like a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. What up, 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 what's good, people? What's up, what's up, what's up? It's me, L Teddy 27, and I am back for yet another review. This will be our review for P Valley. It is season 2, it is episode 3. It is entitled The Dirty Dozen. Once again, we got a lot going on. Let's get right down to it. So we start off with Roulette, Maggot, and I found out how and why she's Maggot this episode. I told y'all last episode I liked her for some reason. She gives ghetto fish vibes. Not too much, but just enough. But she's a plum whore. She is a skank, audacious ass whore. And as a card carrying member of the skank, audacious whore delegation, I appreciate who she is. Anyway, she over there doing a private dance for some dude get butt bunky naked. And while she's dancing, he was like, take off your mask. I want to see that face. You gonna have to pay extra for that. He give her extra. She show her face. He notes that she has very large, voluptuous lips. He calls them DSLs. Y'all know what DSLs are. Just do the math. DSL. Just put it down in the comments. DSLs. And so he says, what I gotta do for you to suck my meat? She was like, we can't do that here. I get thrown out. Plus, we being videotaped. And he was, that's one of our rules. And she was like, but I break a roof with a brick. He pulls out a wad. He pulls out his meat after that. She began to fillet him. We did get the meat. But I'm just glad that this week, even though it was a prosthetic now, it was a prosthetic. I'm just very glad that we got meat from a person we wanted to see meat from. Not people who we don't want no parts of, even knowing that they have reproductive organs. Anyway, moving on. Of course, like I said, all of this is being videotaped, so you know this gonna come back to get her ass. Anyway, so after the end of the club, everybody seemed to be making more money than Mercedes. You know, she the only one that ain't making no money, and that ain't how it used to be. And so it's really starting to make her reassess and rethink what she got going on with her life and what's going on down here to the damn script club. So then Mercedes goes by her gym and ain't nothing happening. Like, it ain't fixed up. It ain't where she wanted to be. Nothing's moving forward. And so essentially she said, you know what? You know how you get to that point where I use this metaphor, like, you know, you go to some like public buildings and stuff like that, and they'll have like the fire extinguisher or the fire alarm behind the little box with the glass, and they have the little hammer in cases of emergency, break the glass. I feel like Coach, we got last season where Coach came and he gave her this offer and said, oh, I pay you such and such money a week to move into this condo and be my private dancer permanently. And she was like, mm-mm. But now she done kept that in the bag, kept that, as an option. And now she's breaking the glass in case of emergency, and she's ready to go ahead and take him up on that offer. So she calls him. Cause I think he said Atlanta is where she was supposed to go, and be his private dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. Yes, your private dancer for money. Any old music will do. Anyway, he tells her the offer still stands. And but she says, listen, you gonna have to tell your wife she needs to give the okay. She needs to be okay with all of it. So I was like, see how that goes. We then see Terica, Mercedes' daughter, is driving a car. Now I was wondering, like, how is this little girl driving a car? And ain't nobody said nothing about this little girl driving a car. And it was an SUV at that. I guess she go down there to her grandma church, and the church worker ain't say nothing about the car. The grandma ain't say nothing about the car. The grandma was like, "Well, where's your mama? She at home sleep at 3 o'clock in the afternoon." Grandma knew something was up. She knew the jig was up, and she knew that there was a problem. That she was asking for 2 plates of food instead of one, like everybody else got. She was like, "Give her 4 plates," and she knew something was wrong because she said you look just like Mercedes when you lying. Anyway, little murder and the gang, they at a rest stop at some gas station, and some racist ass white girl is profiling them, getting ready to press the button for the police to come because she's scared of them, and so forth. They end up going outside taking pics and shit. Rome, Mississippi's um, manager is taking pics and all of this. And I noticed that Lil Murder and Mississippi is real lovey dovey, close up on each other, booed up damn near. And I was like, Mississippi, y'all taking these pictures of y'all kissing and hugged up and breathing and rubbing and touching all on each other. You do realize that this is going on to Al Gore's good internet. You also realize that your boyfriend is a fucking sociopath, okay? And is certifiable. Anyway, can we also note that that goddamn Wody is so fucking fine? Shouts out to casting. Who's ever doing casting down there to the bank? It might be um Patrick Ian Polk, who's one of the girls and the executive producer. He might be part of the cast because baby, he's that damn Wody. It's not just the fact that he's cute because he ain't like, oh my god, beat you down cute, but it's the voice. He got that deep voice mixed with the cute. I like a little round the way guy. One who ain't, who's just a real nice and regular, just round the way. He ain't got to beat you across the head with his beauty. But he's, cute enough. But the voice, every time Wody talk, he sends me honey. Anyway, they still playing killer. They still out here playing killer. Like they 8 years old. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. I think we might play killer. I'm gonna find a way to play killer with my friends now. Cause we ain't played this since like 8 years old. So they done brought that back. Child. Anyway. Haley and Uncle Clifford is out somewhere. I don't know where they at, but they talking and so forth, and chopping it up about the fact that she blew it when they had to reopen it, and the fact that they got to get new headliners because Mercedes is out. She's still, of course, let them tell it, recuperating from the shoulder. But we know Mercedes got other plans, and they got to find new headliners. So they decide Whisper and Roulette will be the new headliners until she come back. They also find a new DJ, some chick. Now I don't know if this was one of the chicks that dance in the club or not. I was confused where she came from, but she was good enough to DJ, so they gonna let her DJ or whatever. They having the annual Association of Black Pastors chicken dinner, and interim mayor Kyle comes over trying to push the whole casino referendum. Pastor Woodbine ain't having no parts of it. She wants no parts of it. She wants no part of these white people. She wants no part of this referendum that they trying to push out there. And she is just not here for them at all. Not here for them at all. Okay? So, um, the other interim mayor Kyle wants them to push their parishioners to vote yes on the referendum. Pastor Woodbine is like, no, but the other pastors are like, yeah, we're gonna get them to vote for this referendum. At least the pastor that was hosting it said that. Um, but the fact that she's trying to get those other pastors not to do it kind of pisses him off. So that gives him an axe to grind on her. We'll see about that later. Um, on the Dirty Dozen tour, one of the stops they had oh, I forgot to notate when they were at the gas station. He picked up a postcard. I was wondering why he was picking up a postcard, but he picked up a that was the little murder who picked up the postcard. Anyway, down to the Dirty Dozen tour at the stop we was at, Big Frida was there doing what she does. Shout out to Big Frida, honey. Anyway, um, Mississippi rolled up in her dressing room and her rider is banging. She got everything she asked for. Meanwhile, on the other side of the backstage, Lil Murder ain't got shit in his dressing room. I don't know what my boo Wody doing, but he ain't getting shit done for Lil Murder. Anyway, ain't nothing ain't no parts of his rider there. I don't even know if he even had a rider. But anyway, Rome is taking pictures again all over our Instagram with Lil Murder and Mississippi kissing and hugged up again. And at this point, Mississippi kind of is apprehensive and she's kind of scared. She's like, he was like, you don't think your boyfriend don't follow me? It'll be all right. She was like, I don't know. And then she was like, okay, whatever, girl. Keep that same energy when Massa come a knocking and a looking for you. You know he following your every move. Child, girl, child. Anyway, Mercedes goes down to I think it's Atlanta, y'all, and goes to the condo. Terica calls her while she was on her way in, talk about, can we start the gym back up? Because she want to go there. She want to do anything to get out the house with her drunk ass stepmama. But Mercedes was like, Shell ain't gonna go for that. But I'll see what I can do when I get back. So when Mercedes goes upstairs, the condo is beautiful. Coach's wife comes downstairs and she's there. And Coach comes and they make her sign some documents, which I assume is an NDA. Anyway, Lil Murder and the crew are at another spot, and they're at the bar that they're at another spot that they got to perform at, and they at the bar. Wody, Wody tripped me out because Wody reminded me of me during the height of the pandemic. If I went anywhere, I kept my mask on, but I still would take my hand sanitizer and wipe my whole forehead, head, neck, ears, everything that wasn't covered. I wiped with hand sanitizer, and then I would take it and wipe it underneath my mask because I wasn't playing with y'all people. So I was here with Wody. Me and my boo was right here with that because I used to really do that. That was like really a thing at the height of the pandemic. Sometimes you'll catch me doing it now. Anyway, so some dude from I guess a rival gang or they knew from prison or something came in. I don't know. But him and Big T had beef with each other and they had words or whatever. But it was what it was. Next thing you know, we back down to the coach's house. So they talking and Mercedes talk about, oh, this picture is so beautiful, oh, it's so artistic, oh, I love what you did when you were looking down because women never get to look down at the man, we always have to look up at the I was just child, girl. I was like, girl, you really doing a lot, but do what you got to do, honey, to get that money, honey. Anyway, so when the wife has a chance to talk to her a little more in depth and privately, she claims that she's a woman with morals, scruples, and integrity, and that's why she needed to get the wife's approval. As much as you can have morals and integrity, being a whole ass whore, a prostitute, a high price prostitute, but a prostitute nonetheless. Nonetheless, I'm just saying. So, come to find out, now they say they paying Mercedes $10,000 a week. I wrote it down. I heard that. in addition to the condo. $10,000 a week equates to $520,000 a year. Take a swig of my juice here. Last time I checked, I don't know nobody paying no $520,000 a year for a scripper. I don't care who you is. I don't care how much money you make. And trust and believe, there are coaches that make a good deal of money, but they ain't making the kind of money when you paying $520,000 a year. That's a $500,000 a year for a stripper. Maybe y'all know something that do, but I don't know. Coach asked Mercedes to give wifey the Mercedes experience, and she starts dancing and all of that. In the middle of her dance, and Terica calls. She ignores the call, and wifey seems to love it, and seems like she wants either to this to become a throuple or at least a good threesome right now and in the interim. Child. Meanwhile, Andre's still at Mayor Ruffin's house. And his wife calls, and he's doing everything in his power to come up with every excuse as to why he can't come home. Same bullshit he was doing last season, and the wife is still not. I mean, we we find out because I thought the wife was maybe a nurse. We At least me, I found out this episode that the wife is actually a doctor, and so she is. And from what I can see, Andre ain't had no job in a while. He ain't been making no money, so she's holding the whole household down. In addition to being on the front lines for COVID, in addition to having a trifling ass husband that don't want to bring his stinking ass home, and that's sleeping with some skank whore bitch in a whole nother state. Just a goddamn mess. A whole fucking mess. In the back down to the threesome that we having with this newly cemented throuple. Terica calls Mercedes again, and she answers this time. It's one of the sheriff's deputies who tells her, "Listen, you need to bring your ass down here. I'm about to take your daughter to jail for underage driving. If you don't come down here and get her, her step mammy in this back seat, smelling like a whole ass distillery. Come get her. Come get her now." So Mercedes leaves and goes and get her child. Um, Down to the Dirty Dozen tour. They done finished the performance. The groupie skanks out there looking for Lil Murder. Dudes looking for Mississippi or whatnot. And so they get ready to leave. Some girl looking for Lil Murder. Hey, Lil Murder, da 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 da. Lil Murder ain't paying her no mind. Dude who had an issue with Big T and before the performance is like, "Hey baby, what's up?" or whatever he said to her, and she was like, "If you ain't Lil Murder, I ain't talking to you." And he be like, "Fuck you, bitch." And Big T was like, "You can't be disrespecting the women's is or whatever." And they have words. Next thing you know, these hoes in a whole ass fight. Big T and old boy in a whole ass fight, which then turns into a whole ass shootout. Just a goddamn mess. So now they got to try and race out of there. People scared of getting shot at. It's a whole mess. Somebody's taping it. It's all over Al Gore's good internet. Okay, they finally get away. They put Big T in the back of the hearse and they get away. Now Big T didn't get shot. It didn't look like, but I think he hurt his arm. It wasn't a gunshot wound. But he just hurt his arm. I think the fact that this was all over Al Gore's good internet is another thing that's gonna get back to to Massa, Mississippi's Massa, and make us say, "Listen, let me go snatch her up right now." So I think next episode he may make an appearance next episode. I'm waiting to see when Massa, because Massa is a coming. Back down to the paint. Whisper and Roulette is in the bathroom. Roulette period done came on, and Whisper gives her a tampon. They have words all about something about Roulette got a whole lot of darkness in her. That's what Whisper told her. And they share a bump. They go take a bump together. Just a mess. Child. Inside the main stage, they got Uncle Clifford ass cheeks out. He on the pole stripping and all this kind. I would venture to tell you that the patrons down to the strip club ain't paying good money. Hell, I ain't paying good money to see Uncle Clifford strip. Just a mess. I could have did without that. Anyway, Big L meets old. I can't remember the white boy name. Somebody put in the comment sections white boy name. White boy who was dating Gidget last season. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Anyway, remember he would. Remember they had this come up with this big plan to sell the little opioids or whatever, or the illegal drugs or whatever. So they talking about that, and he and white boy talking about wanting to get back with Gidget, and apparently white boy must have given Gidget's mom the cocoa, and she ended up dying from the cocoa. Anyway, um, Whisper and Roulette come on the main stage and they perform. Roulette pulls out her titties on the main stage. DJ Chick turned off Uncle Clifford's mic. I didn't note that when he was trying to tell Roulette to put her bra back on because they're not allowed to show titties on the main stage. And while Clifford was trying to call her, DJ Chick turned his mic off. Mm. And they got paid. After it was all over, Roulette and Whisper go to the back, and that's where they meet White Boy because he was over there talking with Big L, and so forth. And White Boy and Roulette seem to have a connection or whatever. She like him. I don't know if he quite likes her, but she seems to like him. I don't know why, but whatever. Mercedes got Shell in the bathtub, running water on her to try and get her out of her drunken ass stupor or whatnot. They have a whole full fledged argument all about stuff that happened in the past, back when Shell's husband cheated with Mercedes and got Mercedes pregnant with Terica or whatever. And so they went back through all of that. Come to find out, um, Mercedes' baby daddy, Shell's husband, made Shell promise that she would take care of Terica and not let Mercedes have the baby. The whole time, Mercedes was thinking it was Shell trying to keep Terica from her, but Michelle was just honoring the wishes of her husband, same husband that had been cheating on her left, right, and sideways. Anyway, while all this is being said and argued out loud, Terica is on the other side of the door, listening, crying, and all kinds of stuff. Child. I mean, she is the whole argument and learns everything, and she over there ugly crying. Anyway, back down to the pank. Um, One of the girls is up there, trying to give a lap dance, and and the dude was telling the girl, "Hey, pull your mask off. I want to see your face." And he was like, "Nah, that's not the lips." He was like, "Yeah, cause my friend told me that one of y'all got some DSLs. We know what DSLs are, and I'm trying to find out who got them DSLs. Cause one of my friends told me by her, meaning she around there giving sloppy toppy. Anyway, that's who he was looking for. Back in the office, Haley gets a text from Andre saying that they'll give them $1 million for the paint. She said, "Mm-mm, we ain't having no parts," and she tells Uncle Clifford. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier when Uncle Clifford and not Mercedes and Haley was discussing the fact that they had to make Roulette and Whisper the new headliners. he and Haley renegotiate the terms of the ownership. So now instead of Haley owning 85% of the pink, she only owns 69% of the pink. So that's what they agreed upon. So Haley was telling him, listen, because Uncle Clifford was like, these people ain't gonna give you $10 million. Haley was like, but what if they did? And so Uncle Clifford was like, yeah, that, cause that'll mean I get 3.1 million. I ain't mad at it, cause he's talking about what's gonna happen to these girls. Fuck them girls. They'll work it out. Girl, run me my 3.1 million. Anyway, so Andre, we then see him sitting with Corbin, and he tells Corbin that Haley declined the offer. But then they have this conversation about interim mayor Kyle, and we learned that Andre still is registered to vote in Chucalissa. He has property in Chucalissa and all of that. So Corbin is like, listen, since you got all that going on, why don't you go ahead and register to run against my brother? I'll foot the bill. I'll put all the money behind you. And there that we'll see if that happens. I don't think Andre's wife gonna be too happy about that. I don't know if she gonna have a whole lot of choices. Back down to the motel, Lil Murder is surrounded by some groupie skanks. And Keyshawn, does the fake kissing of him to bring him in the room and get him away from the stripper, groupie skanks, I should say. So, and there's a lot of kissing involved, and a lot of pictures of these kisses being taken, and that's gonna be sent down to Massa, I'm telling you. Anyway, Mississippi helps him with writing another postcard to Uncle Clifford and so forth. So that's why he got the postcards, because he's writing messages to Clifford who he's unable to see. Hold that thought. Put a bookmark in that. Um, Lil Murder asks her what she did to make Uncle Clifford mad and get her kicked out of the paint. She don't really give him the details. She said, I just couldn't believe in fairy tales. But she don't give him none of the details. And so they start playing around and get loud, and she playing around with his postcard, said, oh, you gonna send it tonight? And he yelling at her like, girl, come on. They playing around, being playful. Next thing you know, who roll up, not to break it up, break it up, break it up. Big Teak. Oh, bruh, can you come with me to the store or whatever? Trying to break it up. Anyway, so we then see Mercedes and Terica have a whole conversation. Mercedes trying to give all of her typical excuses and explain away why Terica couldn't be with her this whole time. Oh, I was 15. She was like, you weren't 15 the whole time? Ain't nobody finna get no stripper day baby back. Girl, whatever, honey. Save it for Oprah. She ain't trying to hear it, honey. Terica is not trying to hear it, honey. And she crying and carrying on. She was like, girl, I ain't here for you. Back down to the hotel, to the motel. Not hotel, but motel. Lil Murder and Big T, they talk on the stairs. And so they reminiscing about their time in prison. But it starts off with Big T fishing for information. Big T says to Lil Murder, I'm surprised you ain't hit that yet. Trying to see if he actually has. Because if he did, he would immediately say, oh, I already, I'm hitting that, I'm hitting that. But if he hasn't, then that lets Big T know ain't nothing going on. So Lil Murder was like, nah, Mississippi like her men, like my Air Force Ones, white. Anyway, they reminisce about the times in prison. Dot 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 dot. We find out that Big T killed a guy killed the guy that shanked some guy shanked Lil Murder. Big T ended up killing the guy and got sent to the hole. While he was in the hole, Lil Murder, who couldn't be around Big T or didn't have access to Big T, ended up writing rhymes on toilet paper and having it sent to Big Teak in the hole. Similar to how Lil Murder, who can't get to Uncle Clifford, is sending postcards to Uncle Clifford so that he can read it. Y'all see that connection? Anyway, um, this shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all of this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like I thought them bitches was gonna stop. I thought Lil Murder was gonna throw um turn Big Teak around and do him like he did Uncle Clifford and do the grease it up with City Lube and ram right in there. It is not a coincidence that Big Teak started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. But Big T goes into this sentimental thing. It was dark in that hole. Dark like the bottom of the ocean. And the only light I had was when I had to read your toilet paper and your rhymes. And that was all the light I had. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Cause Big T got plans for that. Anyway, Pastor Woodbine at church counting money in the bag. Counting all her money. The police, sheriff's deputy, I should say, roll up with interim mayor Kyle and tell her, bitch, break it up, break it up, break it up. You mess with the wrong neighbor. You mess with the wrong neighbor. And told them, yeah, you got to break this up. There are ordinances for religious buildings, and y'all are violating it. Break it up. Shut this bitch down. And she was like, okay, touche, y'all got me. But if I mess with the wrong neighbor, y'all fucked with the wrong bitch. You know that woman. She gonna get him. She gonna get you, Mayor Kyle. Interim Mayor Kyle, I should say. We then see Uncle Clifford at home. He's collecting postcards all over his mirror from Little Murder from all over the Mississippi Delta. Child, he done collected a whole bunch of them too. Finally, down to the paint, we see the roulette is over here turning tricks in the parking lot. Okay, turning tricks in the parking lot, probably getting fucked or sucking something in the middle of the goddamn parking lot. Well, not in the middle of the parking lot, but in cars and getting dropped off. While she getting dropped off, Big L and White Boy is around there trying to transport opioids and oxycodones and stuff like that, and they drop the box and the pills, the bottles fall all over the place. Roulette see them doing something illegal. They see her doing what she ain't supposed to be doing, and you can see they have this silent, unspoken pact. You don't tell what the fuck I'm doing, I won't tell what the fuck you doing, and we gonna keep it that way. And it goes off from there. Child, we got a lot going on, y'all. I want to see this Big Teak little murder situation. I told y'all Massa is coming for Mercedes. He's coming for her. I wonder if Andre is going to actually run. And then I don't know if Andre's going to run, but I really think that Pastor Woodbine might run. Or will it be Andre running with the backing of Pastor Woodbine? But you know Pastor Woodbine, she gonna have something for Uncle not Uncle Clifford, for interim Mayor Kyle. I also want to know how this throuple is gonna work out between Mercedes, the coach, and the wife, Farrah. Let's get in the comment section, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all see. Okay, let's good, like we always do about what we saw. That's all I got for y'all. Until next week, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.